Hello, fellow diamond painting addicts, and welcome back to Diamond Painting Anonymous. I'm Daphne, and I'm here today for video number 3 in my beginners series. In video number 1, we covered where to buy a kit. In video number 2, we covered how to organize your drills. This one is all about prepping your canvas and getting everything ready so that you can actually start to diamond paint. If you're interested in following the rest of this series, make sure that you hit that subscribe button below because I will be having more of these beginner videos coming out. So let's talk about prepping the canvas. This is an inexpensive budget kit that I got from I don't remember where. This is a Muka kit, and I think there's a Muka event going on in November. Even if there isn't, I love Muka, so I'm going to do this one. So I thought I would use this canvas to kind of show you what I'm talking about. Most diamond painting kits are either double-sided adhesive or DSA or poured glue. Double-sided adhesive is basically double-sided tape. So they print the image on the canvas and then they apply double-sided tape over it. One side of it sticks. The other side is then covered with usually a blue and white piece of paper that is non-stick on one side, and then you peel it back, but it's not see-through. So that's usually what double-sided adhesive looks like. So you won't be able to see the image when you get the canvas. It used to be the norm for a lot of companies. However, over the last several years, poured glue, which is what this one is, has become more and more popular. Double-sided adhesive is not as easy to work with. It can cause all kinds of issues when you roll it because air gets trapped underneath the tape and everything. So poured glue is less temperature sensitive. It doesn't hold creases as much as the double-sided adhesive, and it doesn't have as many issues. So poured glue kits like this typically come with a see-through cover sheet. So you'll get a piece of plastic that just peels off of it, and then it's sticky underneath where they've poured the liquid glue, and that's how you get the drills to stick. Now, whether it is poured glue or double-sided adhesive, what you will notice is that, for instance, where my image ends is not where the glue ends. It's sticky there, but it's also sticky here outside. So I've got about a ½ an inch here outside my actual canvas where there is adhesive, which isn't a big issue. I'm not going to be sticking any diamonds there, obviously, but if you lay your hand there, you can get all sorts of lint and gunk and everything else stuck into it. How do you cover it up so that you're not getting it all gross and yucky while you're diamond painting? The way that most people do it is to put washi tape over it. And this applies whether it's poured glue or double-sided adhesive. So you just grab some washi tape or whatever you have on hand. You can use painter's tape, masking tape, just something that won't stick a lot, that will peel off pretty easily. So you can cover up this edge right here. So all I'm gonna do is find the edge of this piece of washi tape, and then I'm going to apply it to the edge here. And I'm just going to get as close to the edge as I can where I'm going to be putting my diamonds, and then I'm going to push it down like that. So now when I start putting diamonds on, nothing is going to stick where that extra glue is, and that will cover it up. Again, what you use, whether it's washi tape or anything else, depends on you and your budget and your preferences. Some people like to buy really expensive washi tape and make it match everything that they're doing. So like it's the same color as the kits, or it's the same theme as the kits, whatever. Other people, like me, just use whatever washi tape is on hand. I had this one on hand, so this is the one that I'm going to use, and I'm fine with that. So after you go around the entire outside edge of your canvas to cover up all of this extra glue, the next thing that you need to do is to section your canvas so that you can work on it. Let me finish doing this washi tape side and I'll be right back. Okay, so essentially you would have this around all 4 corners. I'm not going to do that right now because I want to talk about the next thing. So the next thing is sectioning your canvas. If you have a double-sided adhesive where you can't see the photo, what a lot of people will do is just peel up a section, work on it, whatever that section may be, and then when they're done, they'll replace the cover sheet and they'll just continue to do it that way until they have the painting finished. You can use a cover minder or a little piece of wax or a little piece of glue, whatever, to hold it out of your way while you're working. And then when you're done, you just put it back where it goes. Another option is to section your cover sheet. And I'm sure you've seen it before, but that is to section it using washi tape. So using the same washi tape, if you want, that you used here, essentially you would just place washi tape in sections and rows across your canvas, and then you would use that to cut sections. Most people would use a ruler and a ceramic cutter to cut along those lines. I did not like using that method because I was absolutely terrified that I was going to cut all the way through my canvas and then I would ruin a very expensive canvas, and so I just didn't do it that way. Huge thanks to Jess, who showed me a non-lethal way to do that. So if you put washi tape across like this and section your canvas in these big long strips, however you want to do it, and then you want to cut those pieces, instead of using a ceramic cutter and a ruler, what you can use is a simple seam ripper. You don't have to worry about, with this method, it cutting through your canvas because the part that is the blade never actually touches the canvas. So essentially you would just lift it up, put the plastic here, and just start cutting through the plastic and the tape, and it all gets cut right there with the blade. So the only part that touches your canvas is this bottom part that is not sharp, so you don't have to worry about cutting your canvas while you're doing it. So if I'm going to section with washi tape, then I will use the seam ripper to cut. I do like that method because I think it makes for pretty photos, so you can see people's unfinished parts, and then as they finish, you can see as the drills go on. It makes for really cool Instagram photos. However, for my brain, having the entire image is hard for me because what happens is, oh, I'm doing some eyes down here, but there's some eyes up here and here and here, and I end up just chasing drills everywhere, and I never find a good stopping point. You can section it using the washi, but for me, I would rather cover up the whole thing. Now, when I very first started, to cover up everything rather than these large plastic sheets, which I don't like because they're noisy and crinkly, I used parchment paper. Not wax paper, parchment paper. Parchment paper is non-stick and it's super cheap. So you can just go out and buy some parchment paper. You can get pre-cut squares. You can cut whatever size you want and just apply them. Parchment paper is still pretty see-through, so it was better, but not enough. After I found the parchment paper method, I started looking around and I found release papers on Amazon. And the ones that I bought originally were just plain white. And basically I would just peel off this plastic cover sheet here, and then I would use them to just cover up the entire canvas so that I could peel off one section at a time and everything else was hidden from me until I was ready to work on it. White does get a little boring, so after a while, this has probably been in the last year or so since I've been diamond painting anyway, printed release papers or cover papers have appeared. You can buy them on Amazon, you can buy them on Etsy, you can make your own. I will stick a link up there to my video on how to make your own release papers. I think it's pretty simple to do, and I like being able to design my own. But like I said, you can get them on Etsy, you can find them on Amazon if you want something specific or whatever. So essentially they're just little pieces of paper. They have something printed on one side, and then the other side is silicone, so it's non-stick, and then you can use it to cover up your diamond painting. So for instance here, I can just use it to cover up little sections of my diamond painting. And then as I'm ready to work on a section, I can just peel it off, expose what I'm going to be working on. And I will cover the entire painting with these cover sheets. And then I can just throw away this noisy, crinkly plastic sheet that I don't like anyway. This pineapple one is just one, it's one I bought on Amazon, I think. So, and it's made, you can see it's got lines on here. So if you wanted to cut them to even smaller sizes, you could do that as well. And you just cover up your painting. And for me, this is easier because then I can't see the whole painting. When I peel off a section, I'm only looking at that little section that I'm working on, and I'm not getting distracted by everything else that is on the canvas. If you happen to have purchased any of the newer Diamond Art Clubs, you know that the new Diamond Art Clubs come with a perforated cover sheet. And what they have done is taken this plastic sheet and basically put perforations in it so that you can tear it in sections. So that rather than having to do anything with the cover sheet, you can literally just rip off a section, work it, rip off the next section, etc. I think my Jetsons kit came with a cover sheet like that. I personally am not a huge fan of those. The sizes are not consistent. They're not as big as I want sometimes. They're not as small as I want sometimes. Also, apparently there was some issue with people not being able to clearly see the perforations because it is a clear plastic cover sheet still. So they decided they would add some red ink where the perforation marks were to make them more visible, which worked. Unfortunately, at the manufacturer, some of them got put on upside down, which then bled red ink onto people's canvases. So there were some very unhappy customers. I'm sure the problem has probably been worked out by now, but I'm kind of glad I haven't ordered anything from Diamond Art Club for a while, because I would be pretty upset. Even though I've seen people come up with workarounds and ways to fix it, you're paying some pretty premium money for a kit, and then to have it be messed up when you get it. And yeah, you probably can return it, but who wants to take the time to do that? You spent your money, you got your kit, you want to work on it, right? I mean, for me personally, it might sit in my stash for a year, but that's just me. So that's how I prep my canvas and get everything ready so that I'm ready to diamond paint. I've got my kit, I've opened it, I've organized my drills, now I've got my canvas prepped. The next thing to do is to look at the tools and see how we use them and if there's a reason to upgrade them. So again, make sure you hit that subscribe button so you don't miss this next video. So after watching how I normally prep my canvas with washi tape underneath and then section it off with cover sheets, let me know in the comments below, do you do anything different? Do you use washi tape? Do you use painter's tape, masking tape? Do you just leave the big plastic cover sheet on and cut it with the ceramic cutter? Have you ever seen anyone using the seam ripper method before? Inquiring minds, leave me a comment. That's it for me today, guys. Thanks so much for sticking around till the end of the video. Before you leave, don't forget to do all the things. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, and hit that bell notification icon so that you can be informed of future uploads. And as always, guys, thanks so much for watching.